Hello, everyone. Good day. Welcome once again to the Maxify Bootcamp for UI UX design. As I've been, my name is Johnson Lawrence Anaji, and I'm being supported on this um, instructing role with or by Charity. Charity is here with us. This week is your fourth week, week four of your learning process, and so far you've been able to learn a lot of the basics and, in fact, some major concepts and some practical hands-ons on UI UX. All right. Today we're going to be looking at color theory. We're going to be looking at color theory and also typography. And good news is that we're also going to be kicking off our project today. So we're going to be starting with the design of the e-commerce platform today. All right. So I want everyone to get ready. Please make sure that your network is very okay. Whatever we're designing today, you would have to replicate it and send a link for us to review it during the week, while we're also going to give you an assignment for you to do. To start with us in the class today, Charity is going to be kicking off with the color theory and typography. So I guess without any further ado, I'll just hand over to Charity. Charity, if you're set, um, we can actually kick off from your end.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Please, if you can hear me, just let me know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just a
Okay.
little bit of sound in the background, but I guess we can actually move on with it. I don't know, but if there's anything you can do, to also be fine.
Okay. So I'll just try to be as loud as possible, so you guys can just follow up. So I'll be sharing my screen right now, so we can comment. Great work for people that submitted their assignments. I actually went through it. Well done. We know that one of the core issues for um, design is actually having to design the user flow. Yes, you have to think. It's a whole process on its own. So kudos to everyone that actually tried, and then for others that please do well to try, because you would need it. Please, if you can see my screen, let me know, because I'm out of the chat box right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's visible. Yeah.
So congratulations on your progress so far. I would have loved to hear experiences of for people that did their assignments. I wanted to know how it went. Like, it's one part you have to sit down to think through. Like, you cannot just do it because you want to do it. You have to think it through. So today we are going to be talking about color theory and typography. So, what is color theory? Color theory is both a science and art. It explains how humans perceive color, as well as the subliminal messages it communicates. So, for you to understand color theory, you have to know that not every color can work on your design. Not every color can work on your design. To understand color is an art, and for me, I feel female understand the art of color combination more to guys. Sorry to the brothers in the house. Oh, sorry, but I feel like the sisters understand how to combine colors, because before you see a lady, the first thing she would think in her clothes, in her wardrobe, is how to combine colors. You actually think, okay, can black go with white? Can black go with gray? And all of those things. So is your design process. So is your design process. You have to think of these things. You have to study the hue, the tint. I made mention of it in one of our classes where we are talking about it. You have to involve studying the hue, the tint, the tone. If you look at this particular image that has this should I say this color box, color palette, you can see that every color is started from the darker shade to the lighter shade, or from the lighter shade and outward to the darker shade. So for whatever you are doing, you have to like think through, okay, what color should I put in? And then if you look at the arrangement of these colors, you would see that each and every colors side by side can go with each other. If you look at it side by side, it can go with each other. They didn't just bring up colors. For example, putting purple where there is green. Just imagine this purple color at the edge where this green color is. They actually took their time to color theory. You have to be intentional now. You have to be intentional about mixing your colors, because it will tell greatly how how your um should I say customer perceive it. So for the terminologies we'll be using for colors, we have hue. I talked about hue in the other section where I said hue refers to the origin of the color, where we have primary color in secondary or primary school. We taught primary, secondary, and tertiary colors.
Okay, Charity, seems you're breaking a little bit.
So
I don't know.
Is basically
You're
the
Charity, your voice is breaking a little. If you
original color, like without the mixture of any color. Hue is the original color without the mixture of any color. Some of these you can see yellow, orange, red, violet, blue, and green. They are considered because they are in their pure forms. They are in their pure form. But by the time you are having let me use the ladies for you hear them saying the color for the day is funny names we have for color. From what we have here, we say primarily they are mixed with either black or mixed with wood. The difference when it's mixed with white and when it is color tint is an essential part and darker variation. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah, Charity, I can hear you.
Okay. So I don't know
It's
what's
very, very okay
happened
now.
right there. Okay.
Yeah, it was the network.
So
If you can just go maybe just one slide previously. So for those that, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So I said for the hue colors, they are just colors in their pure form. They are original colors without the mixture of white or black. Without the mixture of black and white or black. So we have primary colors and we have secondary colors. We have also tertiary colors. So for our primary colors, we all know that our primary colors are yellow, orange, red. The one we know is RGB, red, green, and blue, which is the usual primary colors. So for secondary colors, we have yellow, orange, and violet. And then for tertiary, they are basically colors, dominant colors that have black in them. So, and I said tint is a combination of colors that are just lighter, which is the combination of white in the original color. For example, if we have blue as the original color and then we add white to it, it's going to give us a lighter shade of blue, which is either we call them sky blue or sea blue and all of those things. So you can see that when you add white to your color, it gives it a lighter shade. It gives it a lighter shade. And then when you add black to your color, it gives you the darker shade where you have for example, for the blue we have navy blue. It's just the combination of black to that color and we call it shades. So for the ones you add white, you call it tint, and then the ones you add black, you call it shades. So are we good to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, a shade is where an artist add black to a color to darken its color. So for example, this car we have here, in its pure form, it's giving us blue, right? In its pure form. But when you add black to it, towards the edge where you have 5, you can see that it's giving you a navy blue. A navy blue. So you will know the difference in between shade, tint, and hue. Hue are colors in their pure form without addition of black or white. Tint is addition of white to your original color, while shade is the addition of black to your original color. So we have another word called tune. These are terminologies you should get used to, please. In whatever you do, please don't forget. Tune refers to the lightness or the darkness of your color. It's just, for example, you are tuning down a radio, you're either reducing it or you are increasing it. These are just the basics. You're either increasing or you're reducing a color. So the lightness or darkness of a color use, it can help to create a sense or depth or distance in art. Artists use light or dark colors to convey mood or emotion. So when you enter a room that has a blue light, for example, it gives you this sense of weakness, like sleep, 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 sleep. But when you enter a room that has bright color, like the light is white, it gives you this sense of urgency that okay, it's time. And it's normal when NEPA brings light. For example, when NEPA brings light, there is this automatic strength that just comes, and then it just dawns on you that okay, I need to do something, I need to work at this moment. But when the room is dark, it tends to give you this mindset that I just need to sleep. So the use of your color matters in your design. It conveys a mood or an emotion. So the brighter the color, the lighter the mood of whoever is viewing your work. So you don't use dark colors for example, you want to do a mobile app that is a food mobile app, and then you are using black or you are using navy blue and you're not representing food colors. Food colors are appetizing. You can see red in food, you can see orange in food, you can see yellow. They are bright colors. So you have to take note of color. Color can harmonize or bring elements together and create a pleasing sensation, or it may clash. there's something called color clashing. Imagine using purple and you're using burnt orange. There's a way people use color lately that makes sense, but there's a way you use these colors for design and then you're just looking at the design and you're like, what is going on here? The colors are just clashing. Purple and yellow on a design, the colors are just clashing. So you have to be mindful of how you use your colors. You can either tune them to be lighter or darker. So the lighter the better. You don't need your color to be too thick. When your color is too thick in a design, it gives a different meaning. So for color modes in Figma allow you to use color to see color across 5 modes. So I think, let me share my screen to my Figma so you can see them. You can be able to, or okay, let me just create it on this. Sorry, just give me, I'm trying to navigate through my Figma so we can go through the 5 modes of colors on Figma. Can you see my screen? My Figma screen, not the course screen.
No, it's still showing the core screen. Maybe you can reshare.
Okay. Okay. So for example, let me use this. I draw my rectangle. Can you see it? Is it bright? Is it bold enough from your end? Or should I zoom in? So for example, we have this, and I want to see my 5 modes of color. I come to my fill and I add blue, right? So when you come to this side, you see something called hex. Can you see? It's as simple as that. You have hex, you have RGB, which is your primary color, you have the CSS, you have the HSL and HSB. All of them are paramount. They have a role to play in your color mixture. For example, I want to use the RGB. Can you see that the shade of my color is brought out the percentage I want? If I want my red to be 20, I can just come to where there is 9 and click on 20 and then it will change. If I want the green to be probably another shade, I can just change the colors from there, and then at the end of the day I can have a switch. So the green, I want my green to be 40. Please, this is an example, and I want my blue to be 700, and I want them to all be in 100%. You can see the difference. You can see the difference and how the color switched. So let's go back to our course. So switching between color model only affects how Figma describe color. It doesn't affect how Figma render them. So you can either change it, like I said, giving you an example. It's either in its solid form or it's in its lighter form. So for color palettes, these are just combination of color. Color palettes are just combination of colors used by UI designers when designing an interface. When used correctly, color palettes form the visual foundation of your brand. and then it helps to maintain consistency and make your user interface aesthetically pleasing and enjoyable to use. You can get color palettes on your Google. When you're confused and you don't know the right colors to use, you can just go to Google and click on color palettes or how to combine colors, and you have a lot of color palettes. And the amazing thing is you can see the names or the letter representing these colors, and then you can just copy and paste it in your Figma, and then the exact color will come out. You don't need to beat around the bush and wondering, okay, how do I get the exact colors? So when you go to Google and you type color palette, and then you have a lot of palettes coming out, and then you have a color you want to use, but you don't know how to achieve that on Figma. All you have to do is go below the colors and copy out um the name or the title given to the colors and paste it on your Figma. You can just copy and paste it on Figma, and the exact color is going to pop up. So that's the hack about color palette. It's just for you to, it just gives your work this pleasing outlook at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you have bright colors and then good color combination on your work. You can only use, basically, for design process, the rule is you don't use more than 3 colors. You don't use more than 3 colors. We're going to talk about the 60-30-10 rules. Your colors are not supposed to exceed, you should not have up to 8 or 10 colors on a particular design. So when you go on Behance, when you go on Pinterest to get design samples, I just found out a site you can actually look out for design templates, mobbings, and I was seeing nice designs. When you go on these platforms to check for designs, you will notice that designers don't use more than 3 colors on a particular design. They don't use more than 3, which is the neutral color, the primary color, and the secondary color. So there is a 60-30-10 rules. I don't want to go ahead of myself. We're going to get there. So for mono, monochrome comes from ancient Greek word monochromos, which means having one color. A monochrome palette consists of only one color, basic hue, rendered in various tints, tones, and shades. Tints are created by adding white, we've said that already, and then shades are created by adding black color. To adjust this, when you're doing a monochrome design, you have to be careful so that your words, the the colors you're using for your text would actually pop out. For example, if we are having to use just black on a design and you want it to be a monochrome, probably you just want it to be just black and white. Probably your background is white and the write-up is going to be black, and that's all how you want. You have to know how to reduce or increase the texture of your white on the text so it doesn't reflect on the eyes of the user. You have to consider that when you're designing, you have to consider, okay, the person that is reading it, is my text readable? Is the contrast affecting the reader? So for the 60-30-10 rules, the idea is simple. When you choose a new color palette, 60% of that palette is dedicated to the dominant color. Mostly for what I've seen, for most design, our dominant color is white, except if, for example, the brand say, okay, the brand manager is giving you, okay, the color for my brand is green and I want my dominant color to be green. Then you can make but for major designs, the simpler the design, the better. Don't make your work harder by going to do a design that you, at the end of the day, you get stuck. So the simpler the better. So 60% of your color palette is dedicated to the dominant color, or you can call them neutral colors, dominant or neutral colors. Secondary color or complementary colors makes up 30% of the palette, and then the third one is the ancient one used for the remaining 10% of design. For example, we have white, we have white, we have blue, and we have red. Let's say the white is the dominant color, right? And then we want to have the blue as our secondary color. All you need to do is make the white your background, and probably the blue to convey anywhere your picture, or should I say text area, or images or text, or probably the button sections. But if you want to have a call to action section, it will just represent your ancient color, which is your 10%. We have a call to action button. I think when we are trying to create, when we will get to creating of forms, you'll see what it means to create buttons. Most times we advise people to use either shade or black or white for their primary color. It goes a long way to make your design clean, and the ease of switching from light mode to dark mode. We have dark mode design. Light mode design is when your background is white, and then dark mode is when the background is black. So it's not a it's just as easy as that. For light mode design, your background is basically white, like we have here. This right up, the background is white, so this is a light mode design. By the time I switch the background from white to black, it automatically turns to a dark mode. Are we getting it? Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please, if you can hear me, just let me know so I will know that we are together.
Yes.
Okay. So the practical use of 60-30-10 rules is in a design. For example, this design here, we have our mobile screen, and then on the background of the mobile screen is white, which is our light mode. So 60% of this design is just a cumulative of 100%, right? So 60% of this is white. That means the larger part of the design is white, which is your base, which is your primary color. And then below you can see where you have black, and then towards the edge of the body of the text you can see it's gray, or you can put your colors. It depends on the kind of design you're doing. You can actually navigate these things. So in design you can see the dominant color of is the shade of white, the dark is the secondary color, and the ancient color is green. The ancient color is green. So we can differentiate these things, the three. So your 60-30 rules, your dominant color is 60% of your design, while your secondary color is 30, and then your CTA, call to action, is just 10%. You don't need to make your CTA plenty or too obvious. It's just a little percentage. Ancient color are used majorly for call to actions, like I said, for buttons. I'm pointing to important aspects of an app, especially for direction. If you want to give direction, that's why it's called a call to action. If you want to, okay, for example, the app says if you want to create a login screen, and say you want to say if you don't have an account, click. So your click here should be the one carrying your 10%. If you don't have an account, click here. Or if you have an account, continue. Those are call to action buttons. Or you want to go to the next page and you want the person to click the next page. Okay, for example, this add to cart, You want the person to ask the and when the person clicks on it, it's a call to action. It's a call to action. So click here and then the person goes on to click. That's the part where you can make your ancient color. You don't have to bombard your design with so much color. So color psychology. Colors have a remarkable ability to give rise to emotion and association within us. This phenomenon is known as color psychology, a field that delves into subconscious reaction triggered by different colors. Let's take a look at some common colors. For example, in this picture or before the picture, when you see a black color or red on an app, it usually represents a mode where either whatever you are feeling in is wrong, or it gives you this sense of urgency. There is trouble. Red just have this way of making you feel like something is wrong. But when you see the green sign, it makes you feel like, okay, something is right. So color has a subconscious feel. Sometimes I think before now, when people use black to go to bed and then you see somebody using black, you just feel this sense that, okay, why is this person using a black dress, black shoe, everything is just black, what's the matter? So there is this psychology that color gives you. So for example, red gives excitement, danger, strength, love, energy. For orange, it gives you confidence, it's success, it's bravery, it's sociability. Then for yellow, it gives you this sense of creativity or happiness or warmth. And then for example, for food colors, I think red, orange, yellow, green are basically food colors. When you see this color on a design app that is a food app, you're just like, wow, these colors have the ability to blend into themselves when you use it properly. When you obey the 60-30 rules, you don't just put up these colors because they are food colors. You have to obey the 60-30-10 rules. It gives you this sense of this feeling that, okay, this is a food app. And then if you see, for people that have seen people bake cakes and somebody comes to order this cake and he says, I want to bake a cake for my child. If you notice, colors they use for children cakes are not colors they use for adult cakes. They literally combine colors like red, orange, yellow, because children are playful, they are creative with colors. But for an adult, if you want to order a cake for an adult and probably the person is a male, you see people going for purple, for blue, because we already have this in our mind that, okay, these particular colors are for the guys, they are for the male gender. But once you see, okay, this cake is for the ladies, or you hear everybody saying pink. I don't know why. Even though some ladies now we don't like pink, pink is not our favorite. But when you tell somebody that, okay, this particular object I want to give it to a lady, the first color that will pop into that person's mind is pink. So colors have a way of psychologically affecting our design. Okay, so that's for color. Any question for colors before we go into typography? Any question on colors? Please, if you have question, we're supposed to do a design system. Are you typing in the colors? Because I'm not on the chat box. Okay, I think we'll just take our questions after the class. So let's go back to our our color palette. So for example, I want to create a color system, a color grid, and I want to do my 60-30-10 rules. I come to my Eclipse, click on it. So I want to duplicate it. I'll just click on Ctrl D and just drag out. So Ctrl D. I want this to be my primary color. I come to my color and I use the picker and I say I want this to be my primary color. So I want to do a grid. So all I want to do is come to this place where it has its numbers. I'll clean it and put primary color. So I want to create a style guide. That's the word. So I click on the plus sign. It brings out another style guide. So when you click on the plus sign, it's going to bring out another style guide. You just have to name them. So I want this to carry a name solid. Can you guys see my screen? Am I alone on this call? Looking like no
Yeah,
one
yeah,
is
we can see
answering.
you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. So you can actually create a style guide, a style system, a color system. Okay, this is my primary color. I want it to be this, and I don't want to keep going to my color to search for it. So I want to just put in some of the colors and just name them so I can effectively be using them as I'm working. You click on the plus sign. When you add another color, it's going to bring out another one. You can decide to make this let's say yellow. I don't want this to be too thick, so I make it 10. Make this 60. Make let's say 30. You don't have to use these colors I'm using. So you can use any of these colors and just when you create your style guide, it's going to help you just navigate through it. So I want to name this primary, and my primary color should be green. So I just come here and take it to my colors and create style. So I have green as my primary. So I want to add up another one. I'll name it solid, and I want my solid to be purple. I'll just drag it and create style. So when you just need these colors, instead of, so for example, I need these colors, right? I come to my style guide and I click on, I just change here to solid. It's going to give me my solid color. So it has our solid color. So if you have questions, so we can move to, just drop in your questions. So after the class, we're going to answer your question. So let's move on to typography. So typography is the art of arranging letter and text to make the textual content legible or easily digestible. It's just eye appealing. That's the word. Typography is the act of making your work eye appealing and readable to your readers. You don't want to use fonts and text that people cannot read or are struggling to read at the end of the day after your design. So all you have to do is make your text visible to the readers and let it be eye appealing. Imagine having to design, having a design, and then the back, your 60% is purple, for example, and you are using a red text on that particular background. It's going to contrast the eye of the reader, and then the person is going to find it so difficult to read your text. It's going to find it so difficult to read what you're trying to present. In whichever product you use as a designer, carefully and strategically agree upon a font, the size of the font, the structure of the font that helps to deepen and convey the text message. So in your text, we have them in hierarchies. You can use your text in hierarchy. We have bold, we have medium, we have regular, we have light. In your style guide, we are going to be learning how to create headers. We have 6 headers. You have 6 headers which comes in hierarchy. You don't just put in your text with the same size, the same width. You have to reduce them as the message you keep passing on. Is it ascending order or descending order? So in descending order, you have to keep reducing them. When you are coming from up to down, the bigger one, the first header is supposed to be bigger. So let's go back to our Figma file so you see what I'm trying to say. So I want to write out this text, I'm going to put header 1. Header 1. And I want to increase my header to the biggest 128, and I'm going to make it extra bold. So the next one is header 2. So instead of 120 now, I'll just reduce it to 96. And reduce. So in descending order, you just keep reducing them. Instead of 96, I just come to my text size and keep reducing it. This is our third header, header 3. So in order of hierarchy, you just keep reducing them to when you get to your body. So the body of your text till you get to header 6, so you just keep reducing them in hierarchy. So the body of your text, usually the right number you're supposed to use for the body of your text is maximum of 16. Please, maximum of 16, minimum of 14. So let's say I want to type in my class work as the body. So I'll come here. First of all, I'll try to reduce the weight of my text because it's too big. So I come to medium or regular, whichever one is preferable by you. So within regular or medium, it depends on the kind of font you're using. Actually, I'm using Inter for the sake of this class. So you go to the weight and reduce it to 16. So we all know that this is the body of your text. This is the body of your text. So by the time I zoom this in now, it's going to look more presentable. So if somebody that is in a close range, or probably you are viewing from your phone, and I reduce it to 14, you can still read this text. You can download Figma on your phone and use it as your mirror app, so you can see your work on your phone even when you're not with your laptop. I don't know if we said that before we started the class. So you can download Figma on your phone and then you can view this. So in a closer range, this text doesn't look so small like it is looking so small on the laptop screen. Do you understand? So maximum 16, minimum 14. But for your headers, as the hierarchy keeps going, it's decreased in this descending order. So as you're going downwards, it keeps reducing till you get to header 6. The maximum header is 6 and the minimum is 1, right? So like that, same for the body of your text. So let's go back to our Are we following? Are we getting it? Are we confused?
I'm following.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said I'm following.
Okay. So the key elements of typography is just for you to understand the typeface and the font face, which I just explained. So if you're probably confused and trying to understand the distinction between typeface and type font. A type font is a graphical representation of your text character. A typeface is a design style that consists of multiple characters which vary in weight and size. It's like a family of fonts which differ in weight, width, and style. Like I just showed you, you can either reduce the weight of your text by reducing the numbers, the style, which is you can either make it extra bold, medium, Italy, all of these. So these are names of some type of typeface. Poppins is the name of a font. So you can either use Poppins, Inter, sans serif, all of those kind of fonts as a typeface. While the font face is when you are using Poppins bold or semi bold or regular. So those are the types of typefaces and type so for font types, you can check on Google the kind of fonts. We have several of them, even on your Figma. Some fonts do not support. It depends on the kind of laptop you are using. So for some people you have to download or install this font on your laptop. For some people, automatically they are on your Figma app. So for font type category, we have serif fonts. These are those fonts with elongated edges. For example, this G now, you can tell from the way this G is curved and the way this G is out here. The D, the curve from the edges of the D is out. It's a serif font. It's a serif font. If you have F, you have T, it all has elongated edges. That's how you differentiate between other fonts and serif fonts. We have sans serif, we have EB, Garamond, and all of those. Noto serif, soft serif, and Allegria. So sans serif, for example, doesn't have the elongated edges. It just gives you a normal font. The D is okay, the T is okay. They also have them in F. They also have them in F. So this type of font, sans serif font, comes in Roboto, Open Sans, Poppins, Noto Sans. These are the kind of font most designers use. Most designers do not like to use serif font. They prefer to use sans serif, except you are of course the type that like graphical work. You just need your work to be stylish, so you go for your serif instead of sans serif. So we have scripted fonts. This is not advisable for your work, except you are of course doing your headers with them, or they are in your logo. But you cannot be using script fonts to write your text because people find it hard to read. Just imagine having this kind of word to read, like the way this design font is looking. You're having to read it on your script. Like, it doesn't really make sense. So advisably, please, when designing your work, do not go for scripted fonts. They say script fonts are close to human handwriting. They are born from the old-time calligraphic scripting. They try to emulate a curvy or beautiful type design. So please and please, when you're going for type of font, script fonts should not be part of your work. So that is that from my end, and I hope if you have questions, please drop it in the comment section. We're going to take questions after the class, and if you don't understand a particular part, please just draw me back so I can explain before I pass it on to Lawrence. Any question?
or do you prefer we go on our break and then when we come back we can? Okay. Okay. All right. Lawrence, you can carry on.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you so much, Charity. That was really an awesome one. Um, that was really in depth. Well done. That's a great work, and I really appreciate your teaching. I think the question on the chat box, Diane is asking if the color rule affects chat flow on Figjam. So no. The color rule do not affect your Figjam user flow. Your Figjam is basically for your preparations, right? So you see that's where you do your user personas, empathy maps, and everything that you need in the course of your design, all right? So it doesn't really affect the main design. When you're talking about the color rule, you're talking about the main design, the main presentation of the app. So once again, well done, Charity. Please, for every other person, if you still have some more questions, please do well to ask them, and question answers will be given to you. So right about now, we're going to be taking a very short break. So we're going to be taking a 5 minutes. All right, we'll be taking a 5 minutes break, and immediately we come back, we'll start designing our e-commerce app, and we'll be starting with, of course, we'll be using someone's flow, or probably the flow we already have, right? We'll be using the flow we already have, okay, to move ahead. So let's take 5 minutes. Okay, so sorry about that. I switched to another PC and I needed to restart my browser to give permissions for sharing of screens. These things are things that come with technology. Please, pardon that, so we can actually move on. I don't know if you can see my screen right now, but if you can see it, if you cannot see it, then let me know. But I assume everyone can see it now, so we are able to continue. Okay, can you see my Figma now? Please, you guys can speak to me now because I can't see the
Yes, we can.
chat box anymore. All right. So today we are going to be designing, and I want everybody to just follow me. So we'll be going into our e-commerce project, the file. I'll be opening it in a new tab. I had it open before, but apparently I had to close it. Another thing I will need to open, just follow my process. Another thing I'll need to open, I need to open this user flow. That's the first assignment that was submitted. We'll be making use of that user flow. What other things do I need to open? I would also want to open our empathy map file where we had our initial user flow created. And okay, so with that, I think we're good to go. So I have here the empathy map file where I believe every one of you saw the content for the video we created, and here is the user flow we started creating the other day. You know, um, we'll be following this process. Then there's this assignment. This is the assignment submitted. It's also very okay. You have your start, your sign in, your home page. So of course your designing is going to begin from start and then to the authentication screens. All right. So we'll be designing inside of here. This is the file where we have, but I want to beg every one of us, please and please try as much as possible not to tamper with the file where we're going to be designing it. Or rather, what I would do is I'm going to create a playground. I'll probably change this low fidelity wireframe to students playground, right? Student playground. Then I'll always duplicate everything we do right there, so that in case you want to, of course, use it, look at it when you're studying, to duplicate your own stuff, while this high fidelity wireframe will be our main file for the class. So right, today we are going to be starting out, and Charity has taken you guys through creating design system. So what I have here is just to save us of all the stress. She has explained everything about this, and I believe every one of you understands what you're seeing. Please, if you don't understand what you're seeing, let me know. Please, if you don't understand what you're seeing right now, let me know.
I don't understand though.
Diane. Okay, all right, okay. I'm just gonna go through it very sharp. All right, so right now, this is our high fidelity wireframe. Usually, like I said to you guys, we create a first file called the design system file. This page called the design system page. This is a design system. This right here is a design system. Are you getting this? Right here is a design system, and usually it goes inside of the design system page, right? But right now we already have this here, which I don't want to tamper with. However, we can still have our design system, but right now we are putting it inside of what our high fidelity wireframes, right? I just don't want to tamper with this guy. This is more like stamping your presence in the class and all that, right? So let me just leave this guy as it is here. And here you go. Here is the design system I've already created, which is supposed to go here, but we're putting it here right now. Now, in your design system, of course, like I said, I did this to save us a lot of stress. First things first, when you're given a UI UX project or a UI UX job to do, the first thing you should begin to ask of is what? The assets, right? So you have assets like maybe the brand identities. When you talk about the brand identities, you're talking about the logo, you're talking about the colors. So I just created a quick logo, right? You guys remember the concept we're working on, tech talent, right? So I just created that simple, very unique logo, right? And then I just came up with some colors for it. Okay. So this is basically the identity of the brand. Are you getting this? Is basically the identity of the brand. You have your logo, and then you have the colors. So you have to just put it somewhere where it can be easy for you to access. Then, of course, I just like to write for my own design system. I like to write a little bit of about. So, Talent is basically an e-commerce web app that catalogs professional tech talents that can be hired by users of the platform. A very short summary about everything the app is going to be doing. And then by the right side, you're going to see everything that Charity explained while talking about your typography. So the typeface we are going to be using. Let me quickly ask a quick question. In the chat box, everyone in the chat box, what's a typeface from your last class? What is a typeface? What is a typeface, please? I need to, because that concept is very, very important. What is a typeface? What is a typeface? What is a typeface? Or rather, you might not even be able to express it, right? So just you can either type the definition of a typeface, or you type an example of a typeface on the chat box. Quickly, I'm waiting. It will ease our work as well. I'm waiting. What a typeface is, or an example of a typeface. I'm waiting. Okay, and if you cannot remember what it is, just say, tell me. Just type, tell me. If you can't remember what it is, just type, tell me. Okay, Patrick, excellent. Yeah, I'm expecting some more. If you cannot remember what the typeface is, just type tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. We need that feedback to be able to speed up with the class, right? So I don't assume we all got that. I'm waiting for you all. Jimmy, I'm waiting for you. Marian, okay. Even, I'm waiting for. Yeah, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. The overall visual appearance of characters. Okay, great. Now let me tell you guys what it is. Share my screen again. Okay. All right. So when you come here, you're going to see I wrote something. I wrote typeface, and I wrote what Montserrat what alternate. Now a typeface is more like a collection of fonts, a collection of font faces. For instance, most popular one is Times New Roman. Times New Roman is a typeface. But inside of Times New Roman, you have a lot of font faces. Example, Times New Roman regular, Times New Roman medium, Times New Roman bold, Times New Roman like that. You get so all those other font faces, right? Is what they call font face, but the collection of all the font faces is what they call your typeface. So for this project, we're going to be using Montserrat Alternate. We have Montserrat as a font on its own, but we also have Montserrat Alternate. I like the face, and I would like us to use it. And then, of course, Charity has explained how you create your headings and your display and all that. All right. So here is our colors, and then what you call your tone, what you call your tint, your tone, your shade. Are you getting me now? And then this is ranging from zero opacity to 100% opacity. So we also looked at the 60-30-10 color rule, and in that note, I also dropped a link. I have a write-up on the 60-30-10 color rule on Medium. You guys might want to read it up for better understanding. So here, right here, we have our three colors, our 60-30-10 rule. In this is going to be our 60. So let me write that there. This is going to be our 60%. Usually the color tending to white is going to be our 60%. And then let me put it on 18 pixels font size. And then we have this is going to be our 30%, and then this is going to be our 10%. Now the 60% is called your, let me reduce this to 14 now. The 60% is called your primary color, just as Charity has explained. Primary color, let me reduce that. Primary color. Then you have your 30, which is most times your what? Secondary color. So let me take out color and avoid all the repetitions of color there. Just say secondary, uh, primary, and then the very third one, the 10%, is your what? It's called your accent color. What's your accent color? Your accent color is those colors that you use basically for call to actions. Colors that you use, they pop. Those colors that pop. You understand? Because imagine you cannot actually use red. Red is a very sharp color. You cannot actually use red as your primary color. There are people that use it, but when you look at the app, it doesn't make sense, right? Because those colors because they attract people a lot, they are meant to be used to direct the mind of the user to say, okay, press this button. When I open a web app or a website now, and in everything I'm seeing, there's one button at the top right that is red in color. That button is what we are tracking first. So it's called your accent color. So used to help people take some action on your web pages, all right? So we have that 60-30-10 arranged. So this is the process you go through while you are trying to start up a brand new design. So you have to set your colors, you have to set everything, get it arranged like this. Right now, what I'm using here is what they call a section. This guy holding them is a section, right? So how do you create a section? You just come here. You can see you have frame, you have section and slice, all right? So we'll be creating sections, and inside of the sections, you'll be creating frames, all right? Okay, so yeah, then you can see the colors. Everything is set here. Now, the ones I'm not done with is the inputs, right? So you also have inputs, which of course we're going to be using in our design. So let's jump right into the design of our e-commerce app. The first thing we are going to be doing is that we're going to be creating, first of all, okay, let me ask it as a question. When you log into, for your first time you log into an e-commerce, you need to do what? In the comment box, you will need to do something. What will you need to do? Or I like very interactive sessions. You need to do something. Sign in. Okay. As a first-time user, as a very first-time user, you need to do what? I'm waiting for your comments. You need to, the very first time you're using a system, you need to sign up. Exactly. Right? So when you're saying sign in, you're talking about create an account. Okay. You can either say sign up or create an account. Okay. Right. Sign in is basically for someone who had already gone through the sign up process before. Right. So let's quickly jump in and create a sign up page. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to let our design system go up right now. Now, Charity already taught you guys how to create styles, right? How to create styles. Now, for your design, a professional designer doesn't just create a box like this. Look at me, create a box like this, and then you go here, and then you just click on this thing and pick a color. And then if you create another box again, let's say you create another box again, you come here again, and you just pick a color. No, it doesn't make sense like that. So you need to create, when you're doing a professional work, you need to create your style guide. It's called your style guide. So every color you're going to be using, you need to create it. Now you already know your 60-30-10. What you do is that you come here. This is your, when you are not clicking on any frame or any section right now. You are just clicking on this blank part, right? Just click on this blank part to show you this. Why did I say click on this blank part? If you click on a frame, it changes. The options here, the properties here changes, right? So click on this blank part. You're going to see, first thing you're going to see what? Design and prototype, right? And then prototype is basically when you want to preview what you have done, what you have designed, right? The next thing you're going to see is what? Page. And what can you do to this page? You can actually change the color. So if I click here, I can change the color of our page to whatever I want to change it to, whether even black or whatever. You can see I've changed it to black. I can change it back to white, right? And I can leave it like this, or whichever one I want to. You can reduce the opacity. If you reduce the opacity to 10, you're going to see that the background goes out, right? So let's take it back to 100. And then you can decide to turn off this eye. This eye icon basically helps you to turn off the visibility of an element. So if I turn off that eye, you see that it is no longer visible. If I turn it on, it is visible. But do you really need that? You don't need to start tampering on your page color now. It's not necessary. Then the next thing, you see your local variables. We're coming to variables. When you begin to talk about your light mode and dark mode, and then when you begin to talk about your adding items to cart and all that, you're going to be working a lot with variables. But right now we need to do local style. So when you look at local styles, you're going to see that there's a plus here. Plus saying what? Create style, right? So when you click on create style, it gives you the option. You can create what? A text style, a color style, an effect style, or a grid style, right? So right now what we created so far is a color style. So if I click on this color style, it gives me this option, this what's it called here, this info box here. What can I do? I can name my color. For instance, if I want to create a color called maybe Gmail now, right? I can, you, of course, you can give your color any name. But however, it is very important that you give names that are reasonable and another person will understand. For instance, that's where we begin to talk about what? Primary color. Are you getting? Or you say your what? Accent color, right? So if you say accent, anybody that comes can know it's accent. But if you use a name that is not very, very easy to understand, you easily put what? A description here to tell the person that this is what? This is our accent color. Do you get? Then you are able to what? Yeah, you're able to now choose that color, that accent color. When you click on this now, you're able to say, okay, our accent color is maybe, this is just an example, I'll delete it. Maybe we say is this, what's this, pink, right? This is pink, and then we want it to be a solid color, so our opacity is what? 100%. And then of course it's visible. This minus is if you want to remove it, right? So if you add one, you want to remove it, you use that minus. Then you click on what? Create style. When you click on create style, what happens is that that style automatically adds to the whole thing. Now, if you look at this side, you see that out of all this, we've added a new one called what? Our accent. You get? But we don't need this guy right now. Like, I don't even like that color because I'm not feminine like Charity will say. So let me click on this and let me just delete it. I just use that to explain. So let me just what? Take that out and delete that guy and click on delete. Right? So I deleted that guy out of it. So I believe with that you understand how to create your local styles. So you can create your local styles, you can color styles, you can create text styles. For instance, I want to create a text style. For instance, I want to say, okay, we're using Montserrat Alternate and our heading should be 48 pixels. So I click on text. What's the name? Then say heading one. And then what's the description? This is style for a large heading text, right? And then you have the option to choose what? The typeface, right? The typeface. So the typeface here is what? Montserrat Alternate. I click on that. I set that and click on that. And then the font face now is for your heading should be a bold or extra bold, depending on what you want to use, right? Click on bold. And then, of course, the size of your heading should be very large, maybe something like 48. Are you getting me now? Now, this is your line height. Your line height basically talks about the height of your text container, all right? And then this is your what? Your horizontal letter spacing, right? Which talks about the spacing in between your letters. So if you want to set that, you can set that. And then this is basically your what? Your paragraph spacing. All those things are what you have there, right? Click on these three dots, you're able to see some more settings. Like what? Your text decoration. Maybe you want to underline it or you want to strike it through, right? Or you want to the text casing, maybe you want to use your uppercase, lowercase, title case, small, and all that. So I don't need to go through all this again since you guys already have an idea of it. And then of course these are just basically you setting your project. All right. So if we create a style now, we have created what? Look, I came up here, a text style. And what's the text style we just created? We've created what? A heading style. So if I come here and I maybe type a text, maybe I type a text like something, right? When I say something, I've typed something. All I just need to do is I need to what? I need to come here where you have text here. you see these 4 dots here. When you have fill tool, if you want to change in terms of colors, you see these 4 dots here. These 4 dots leads you to your styles and variables. So I come to the option of text, I click on these 4 dots, and I just select my what? Heading 1. Once I click on heading 1, look at what it did. It just changes it to that setting, the setting of heading 1 that we had already done before now. So if we had created another text style, maybe for heading 2, so it's just going to have what? Heading 2, and then this is heading 2, for instance. And then we set the typeface to what? Montserrat alternate. And then the font face now to, since it's heading 2, we just want to give it, maybe, of course, it should also be maybe bold since it's an heading. And then the font size now, for the heading 1, we used 48. So for this one, we might want to use maybe we say 32, right? So we create style, and then we have heading 1, we have heading 2. Are you getting now? Now in web development, your heading elements are basically 6 heading elements. So you know that you as a UI designer, you're actually doing what your web developers will be able to design, right? So you have H1 to what? H6. That is your heading levels in web development, of which in this range, H1 is the highest, largest heading, while H6 is the smallest heading. Are you getting me now? So H6 is very small in terms of font size, but H1 is the highest. So you can see we have something. So with that, this is how we got this guy, these headings here. You can see. You can see. So in fact, there shouldn't be all this thing called heading 7 and heading 8 here. All right, duplications. So please look at it. I have this and I have this. There's nothing as such as heading 7, heading 8, heading 1 to heading 6. So I duplicated this guy and I want to change it from, this one is heading 1. I want to change this one to heading 2. I just come here. I will click on this heading 1 now and select what? Heading 2. You can see heading 2 now. So if, for instance, we create another heading called heading 3, and then we say this is heading 3. This is heading 3. And we select the typeface to what? Montserrat alternate. And this goes to bold because it's also an heading. But of course, we know that the font size is going to change. So heading 1 was 48 pixels. As in, remember, pixels is actually measurement value, length measurement value in web development, right? So we have heading 1, 48 pixels, heading 2, 32 pixels. So maybe we want to set heading 3 to maybe 28 pixels. And somebody will be wondering why I'm going in multiples of, it's looking like multiples of something, right? So basically that's the multiple. We go in 2, 4, 6 or 8 multiples like that, right? So because of some measurement recommendations, right? So you have heading 3 created. If I click on create style, we've created heading 3. You can see how you are setting your project up right now. So you have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 for your text styles. For your color styles, you have secondary, accent, primary. So if I duplicate this guy, I'm going to have and I click here, change to heading 3, it's going to become heading 3. You can see how it is going down. It is reducing. This is how we come up with this design system. Are you guys getting me now? So you have created text styles, you've created color styles. There are a lot of other things you can create. You can set your effects. Effects like what? Effects like I want to set my in web development, there's something called cards. Whenever you go to a website and you see something like, maybe, of course, like, because we are doing e-commerce, you're definitely going to have stuff like this. Then you see something like this, containing some items, right? These elements in web development, they are called cards. They are called cards, as in CARDS, cards, right? So they are called cards. So you might want to set box, or what they call drop shadow, for your cards, so that they can have a bit of light though. So you might want to set it auto. So you just click here, set effect, And what kind of effect? You want to set what? Card, or let me just be generic with it. Let me say box shadow. Box shadow what? Box shadow, let me set it to box shadow light. A very light box shadow. And how do I set that light box shadow? Description is what? Shadow for my item cards. Very easy. Then the next thing you do is you're saying, all right, properties. You come here, you can select different kind of properties. Right now, by default, it's always on drop shadow, and that's what we want to use. But you can change from, we have inner shadow when you want the shadow to be inside of the element. We have layer blur when you want the element itself to be blur, and then you have background blur when you want the anything under the background of the element to be blur, right? I'm going to show you that in practical later, right? But right now, let's select drop shadow. And drop shadow is basically that shadow under elements that make it look like a realistic object. You know, every object has a shadow, right? So when I click on this here, I am able to change the settings. So what do I want to change? Now, box shadows come in measurements. So if you have a box like this, right? If you have a box like this, there is the x-axis. If you remember your what's it called now? Your graph in school, you will know that there's x-axis and then there's y-axis. Usually your x-axis, your y-axis is the vertical axis, and your x-axis is the what? The horizontal axis. Are you getting me now? So we are saying when you see x there, oh, we've lost that guy. When you see x there, you're saying how far should this shadow push to the what? Today we have negative x and positive x. Negative x is to this point, right? If this is the card now, negative x is how far should the shadow go here. Positive x is how far should the shadow go here. Negative y should be what? How far? Positive y down here. Are you seeing that? So that's the concept of using drop shadows in Figma, right? So I want to continue creating that local style very quickly. Please, I'm not seeing the chat box, so in case you have any question, you can just speak up with your mic, or if you drop in the chat box, then Charity will respond to you. So if I click on this, I have what? Effect, just like what we're trying to create, and I said box shadow what? Light. And then what's it for? My box shadow, my what? Card box shadows. That's just for explanation, nothing really serious. Then I come here, I click on this, and how far do I want it to go to my x? Maybe I want it to go x by maybe 2 pixels. And how far do I want it to go to my y? Maybe I want it to go to my y by maybe also maybe 2 pixels. And then the question is, how do you want it? How blur do you want it to be? When you talk about blur, you're talking about the level of non-visibility of items, you know. Then I might want to say it should blur by maybe 40 pixels. And then spread, when you're talking about spread, you're saying how what area, what perimeter should the shadow cover? Are you getting me now? If you look up here, you'll be seeing the preview of what we are setting. You can see how the shadow feels here. So maybe I want the spread to be a little bit of 20. And that will give us what? That gives us something that now seems to be like a material design. So when you talk about material design, you feel like you can take off that circle from that point. But of course, this spread now looks too much. So let's just give it 5 so that it doesn't spread so much. So 5 goes like so. Now the next thing you're going to see is that currently for your shadow, there are always colors, right? So currently the color is pure black, but opacity of 25 percent, right? So what we are going to do is that we are going to two ways. You can either reduce the opacity or you reduce what? The color. So if I click on this, I can easily just bring this guy down because I don't want it to be too obvious that there's a shadow underneath it, right? So I'm going to have stuff like so, like so, like so. I keep going until I feel like I'm very okay. So I feel like I'm good here. there's a shadow, but it's not obvious. So with that, I've set this variable, and then I can just easily come here and click on create styles. So I have created a style right now. So what you see is that we have how many styles now? We have under our local styles, we have text styles, we have color styles, we have effect styles. Under text styles, we have created just 3 headings. Of course, I expect that you would create your 6 headings. And I have a major 60, 30, 10 colors. And then right now we have one box shadow, but let's just leave that box shadow as one, so we don't have to go through a lot of stress because of time in a class. All right. So right now, the next thing you're going to do is let's test that box shadow. If I click on this card and I want to add a box, yeah, that effect, I just come here, I click on plus on this effect. But I can decide to click on plus, and I can decide to go ahead and just add the style. So these 4 dots, when you click on plus, you want to set a style by yourself. But if you have created some effects styles, you can just click on this style, and you can see box shadow light, and then you click on it. And then what do you notice? That guy has added box shadow to this guy. So if I set this guy to pure white, you should be able to see that shadow very well. Can you see that? Can you see that effect now? So let me also set this guy to white so that you can see the difference between the both of them. Now, look at the 2 of them. Can you see the difference between the both of them? One is looking like you can actually take it out of the stack, while this one is looking flat. This one is looking like it has a shadow, while this one is looking flat. So that's what they call box shadow. Are you getting me now? So now, having understood all these basic concepts, right? The next thing we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our, like we said, a sign up page, right? A sign up page. So we come here. What's the first process? The first process is I like to put all my designs in sections. And I believe this is not just a training, it's also a mentorship. So that's why I also tell you how I do my own. And of course, and of course, by the grace of God, we are not doing badly in the industry. So I'm confident to tell you that this is how I am doing it. All right. So just this is what I do. You won't find a lot of people arranging their work like this. All right. So this is how I arrange my work. I create, first of all, a section, and this section, I will just draw a section like so. Usually, I won't even have my style, my design system in my high fidelity. But remember, I told you why? Because we have something right now in our design system. That's why we're putting here. So I just created a section. You can see the section I just created. What I do is that I actually style my sections, all right? First of all, I name my section. What is this section going to be? This section is going to be what they call, let's call it user registration and what? Authentication. So that's the general name for the screens we're going to be creating there. All right, that's the general name for the screens we're going to be creating there. So having done this, I just want to style my section now. All I just used to do to my section is I just come to stroke. Of course, it has a stroke already of 1 pixel, but I just increase it to maybe like 10, right? 10 pixels. And then I don't want this stroke to go inside. I want it to go outside. So I push it outside. And then I just, of course, it already has an opacity. So I don't stress myself with that. I just reduce the shade, the tone of the color. I tone it down a bit. And then what I like doing is I like using the color of my, so right now I will not be able to use what's it called now? I will not be able to use a lighter shade of this blue right now. If I click on this, it's going to give me dark, and I will not be able to reduce the opacity here. That's why, as it stands now, this color styles is not yet complete. You see, I've created all this here. All these guys here are supposed to be represented in what? Your color styles. So for instance, you create a color style. This is secondary color solid blue, right? So you can easily come to say, okay, secondary, so okay, secondary should not be solid anymore. Let's just say secondary blue, and this is what want to do the what let's say it is going from, you can decide to take it, most people take it from 100 like that. terms of weight, right? Because on web development, when you want to set what's it called? When you want to set weight, you can measure it in 100, 200 like that. So I want to set this guy, let me just say blue 100, that is 10%. 10%, or I just say blue 10 to just indicate that it is 10%. So what do? I click on this guy and I want to select this color with my picker, right? And then because I said 10%, I will set the opacity to what? 10. So it will give me a light shade of, that's blue, but it's opacity of what? 10%. Are you getting it now? So if I create that style, we have another style. It is secondary blue, but it is just a 10% shade. Are you getting me now? So like that, we need to do that for all those other colors. So if you have that, you can easily, so let me just quickly create one for these. Secondary blue, I want to just create the 50. So I'm just going to set this guy. I select this guy, but I reduce the opacity to what? 50. So I expect you guys to do the rest. I create this guy. So I'm going to set the stroke of this, my section. Instead of using secondary solid blue, I'll just click on this now and change it to secondary blue 50. And then you can see that it is a lighter version of it. Now, having created your section, the next thing you want to begin to create is you want to create your frame. So I come back here and I select on what? Frame. I want to put my frame right inside here. But once you click on frame, by the right hand side here, you see that everything changes. What changes? It changes to show you all the types of frames that is available to you. Number one, Figma is not just a design, a website UI design software, right? You can design for what? Mobile phones, iPhone 14. You can see your frames for iPhone 14. You can see your frames for iPhone 13 and all that. Android. You can see for tablets. You can see for desktop. These are desktop, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro 14, MacBook Pro 16, normal desktop, wireframe, TV. You can see presentation, two major types of presentation. You have your 16 by 9, that is 1920 1080, and then you have your 4 by 3, which is 1024 768. This mostly is for what you call smaller presentation slides, but this is for your, in fact, the most popular presentation slides. Like for instance, the class notes you are using is on 16 by 9, which is 1920 1080, right? Then we have your watch. This is for Apple Watch, your what's it called, your iWatches. You can see the sizes. You can actually design for. If I click on Apple Watch now, you're going to see, look at what comes out. A small screen that represents what? Your iWatch. Are you getting me now? So you have that. Let me delete that. Come back and click frame. You can see that of watch. And see, then you can also do for normal paper like your A4. You can write a letter in Figma and export it and send. You can A4, A5, A6 letter, tabloid, right? And you have your social media. You can make a design for your Twitter post. You can make a design for your Twitter header. You can make a design for your Instagram post, dribble and all that. Are you getting me? And then you can make a design for, of course, Figma community, right? You can create plugins. You can create profile banner. You can create what? File cover. Are you getting me now? So I like, for instance, I have some assets on Figma community. I put it there. Other people, other UI designers are also making use of it, right? So I will talk to you about Figma community as you continue to progress in this course. I will get to a point where we begin to talk about Figma community. And then you have your archive. So this archive basically are all those screens that they probably have removed. Are you getting me now? All those screens that they probably have removed from the stack, but they know that a lot of people still use them, so they just put them in the archive. So the current ones now, because Figma updates itself every time. Good and fine. Right now, so from what I've explained, which of the frames do you guys think we need? You can speak into your mic if you can. I may not be able to see the chat box right now. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Please confirm that you have been hearing me and I've not been talking all to myself.
Sorry, so what was your question again?
Oh, okay. I said, like, from what I've explained now about frames and all the types of frames we have, you have your mobile phone, tablet, desktop, presentation, and all that. For this e-commerce website that we want to create, which frame do you guys think we need? Is it phone? Is it tablet? Is it desktop? Is it presentation? Is it watch? Which one?
Desktop,
Just yes.
I guess.
Desktop, that's excellent. So we actually need desktop. But however, after we design the desktop version, we would also design the responsiveness for the mobile version. So let's click on desktop, and maybe we want to use maybe let's use MacBook Pro 16 since it seems to be the highest one there. So I click on that. You can see how big it is. You can see how big it is, even bigger than my existing section, right? So all you need to do is you just needed to get the aspect ratio. When you talk about aspect ratio, you're talking about the width and the height of an element, right? You just needed to get the aspect ratio. So all you can do now is you can scale. You can just scale. Are you getting me? And now for you to scale, how do you scale? When you just click on the element and you just click on what? K on your keyboard, K on your keyboard, K. I just click on K on my keyboard. You can see that scale comes up here. Are you getting me now? Just click on scale, K, K on your keyboard, and it comes up here. Are you getting me now? All right. So that's to save you all the stress of doing this. So you just click on K. When you click on K, you can actually move it like this, and it is reducing in both width and height at equal percentages. I get it. Is reducing equally. But if you don't use scale, if I close this scale, if I don't use scale, if I try to move this guy, you see, it's only moving width. If I try to move this guy, it's only moving height. So you need to use your K. I click on K now, I'm able to reduce it down. So we have this that can actually enter into so it's the same aspect ratio, but just scaled down. So I bring it into our section. Now it is inside of our section. Are you getting me? Now it's inside of our section, but our section is white in color. So let's change that section color. Let's change that section color from white. Just tone it down a bit so that we can see our own work. Okay. So what you do is when you create a frame, the next thing you do is that you name your frame. So maybe this particular frame is going to be our create an account, create an account, create an account, create an account. So let me name it okay, usually it starts with what's it called, login. But let's go create an account, create an account, create an account so that your developers will know that this is what this screen is doing. Now, when you say create an account, what we want to do now is, guys, we actually want to design. So when you say create an account, coming to this user flow, what is there? Create an account. Oh, okay. Create an account. Oh, okay. Create an account happens when, let me open this one. When you don't have an account, then you can create an account. It is also called register. All right. So right now, you know that this person doesn't have an account. What do? Let's design now. Maybe we want to create login fields, but first of all, let's brand this place. We want to create what is called layout, our layout grid. That's what I want to create. It's also like a style. So let's create our layout grid. So I click on this empty place and I come to local styles. You can see, and I create what? Grid. Grid is going to help you to measure easily, right? So new grid style. Let me just say the normal column grid in web development is what? 12. So let me say let me name it col I won't use grid, I will use columns, right? So let me use a col guide, right, as the name. So col guide as the name. So what I do is I come here, I click on this boxes here, and I change this guy from grid to column. If I use grid, it's going to show box, small box, but I just want columns. So I click on columns. How many columns do I want? Count of columns, I want 12. That's the standard for web. I want 12, and of course, let the color just remain this red, right? 10% of red, and then of course, yeah, type of stretch it to fill the whole place, right? And then of course, now you talk about the gutter is now the space in between those columns. So maybe the gutter should be maybe 5, let's see, 5 pixels. So we have a layout um column of 12 count, 5 gutter of 5. So let's create this style. I click on create style. You can see that here I've created a grid style code guide. So what I do is if I click on this frame, I can easily say, okay, when I come to layout grid, I click on these 4 boxes and I select code guide. Now look at it now. Look at it, it has shown. You can easily either turn it off or turn it on. What it does is that it guides you. It helps you create a good margin. You can see the gutter. The gutter is these white spaces in between them. That's the 5 we set. We can actually even update it. Let's make it 10 so that it can be better. Please, I'm just showing you guys my own process of designing, and I believe you guys are actually understanding what I'm doing. So let me update this guy to the gutter to maybe 10 pixels. Okay, so 10 pixels, yeah, so that is a bit wider. So all right, so you have something like this. What it means is that if I create a if I create a rectangle here now, if I create a rectangle, I can draw a rectangle from here, and you can see the lines. It's helping me towards to measure my lines. I can say, okay, I'm able to get straight lines, proper measurement. You can see this kind of thing now. You can see it now. So you can see why the use of that stuff. So what we want to do is moving straight to design. Let's go. We have this guy. Let's turn off the layout guide. So we want to have maybe um 2 things. First of all, let's bring in our logo. This is our logo. I copy it. I come here. How do you want it to be? I use my K to reduce the logo. So this is what? Talent. So it says this is talent. I want to have it, maybe have it like here. I want to have it maybe like here. Okay, so how do I get where to put that talent now? I click on this and turn on what? Turn on your layout guide so that you know where to put it. So maybe this is, if this is 12, then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the middle. So let's start from the the beginning of the second part, right? So this is that. So you want to put it, you want to put talent here, and then maybe you want to now say, okay, there should be a box here, maybe a rectangle. I'm not using auto layout now because you guys have not learned auto layout. We're going to teach you. So maybe I want to drag it from here to here, right? And then I want it to come up to this point. Okay. All right. So I want it to look like so, and drag this here like this. All right. So don't worry, I'm going somewhere. Now let's turn off that. You keep on turning off and turning on, right? So for this guy now, we want to have a color that is not very visible. So let's give it a color of that secondary blue 10, like so. We have secondary blue 10. Then now there's something called your border radius, your corner radius, right? So maybe we want to reduce they want to give it some corner radius. And where do you find that? You can see it here. This is your corner radius. So maybe we want to increase it to maybe we want to give it like maybe 30. Let's see how it looks. 30 is too much. Then just give it maybe 10. 10 is looking too much, so you just give it 5. All right, so you have this like this. So right now we want to write something here first, right? We want to write something here first. So let's say we have something like who is the content creator in this class that can give us the content? Mm, let's say find please, let's use heading what? Heading 1. Let's use heading 1, or rather heading 2. Heading 2. So find tech talents for your what? For your project in in a blink. Right? So right here we want to, of course, it doesn't make sense. Okay, let's reduce this to heading 3. Let's be like this. But it doesn't make sense to use just black like this. Are you getting me now? It doesn't make sense to use just black like this. So we can reduce this color. I don't know if we have any color that right there that makes. Oh, we've not. Please make sure that you're creating color styles for yours. But I'm going to use a normal this thing right now. So let me just reduce that to maybe this, right? So find tech talents. Tech talents can now take our accent color. Are you seeing the use of accent color now? You can now use find tech talents for your project in a blink. So it looks like this now. Find tech talent for your project in a blink. So just to do some things, you can just use your pencil. So maybe just do like something like so, or something like, it's freehand, so might not be perfect, but just take it like so. We are doing a live class, right? So yeah, so you have stuff like I don't know if that even makes sense there, but let's just have it. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense. In fact, it's not making sense to me. So let's remove it. Let's have something like okay, let me take something from our class note. Do I have it open? Oh, no, I don't have it open. All right, no problem. Just for you guys to learn. All right, we'll be doing all the so you have something like this in a blink. Now right here, what goes here? Create an account, right? So this is talent. So talent should maybe come here. Are you getting? So here should now be what? Create an account. So we want to write what? Create what? Create an account. Create an account. And that should be heading what? That should be maybe heading 3. Heading 3 seems to be too small. So if we had maybe like heading 6, we should be using that. But I'm going to use normal scaling to scale that guy down now. So create an account. Okay. Set this one to maybe pass through of maybe 40, so it doesn't look too obvious. All right, create an account. Now when you see create an account, what happens? You're able to use maybe what you call your first name, last name, email, password, that kind of thing. So you're going to have stuff like, okay, let's say we want to have a small text, maybe of like maybe 12, and then we want to say, okay, first name. It's not going to be bold again, right? So it's going to be like maybe medium, and then this guy is going to be, that's creating your hierarchy using typographic hierarchy, right? And then this guy, I'm going to just bring it down. Don't mind me. I like to make sure that the design is looking better. So this comes like down a bit. All right. So if you have this, so let's do the necessary. First name is an input field, so you might just want to have, for now we are using rectangles, but I'm going to show you guys auto layout, right? So you just click on rectangle and then you come here, you draw. We're supposed to have a style guide for input fields. For instance, I have one here. You can see, enter your email. So maybe let me just even pick this. I copy, come here, and then I can say, okay, let me paste it here. So I'm gonna have stuff like so. So let me delete this one. So that saves us a lot of adjustment there. So you have first name, you have email. So we just need to increase it using our key, right? So you have this guy. So this should be what? First name, first name. So let me delete this guy. First name. Then duplicate. Last name. Last name. Then the next is what? Your what? I duplicate again. You have your what? Email. All right. So now, for the sake of this course, right? For the state of the art technology in state of the art in tech, right? Right now, we no longer really do put first name, put last name, and all those things again, right? You just create with your email. I get it. You just create with your email. So right now, let's just change this guy to email and then password. All right. So this guy is just going to be email. Enter your email. Enter your email. Enter your email. Then you can say, okay, they used to use example at what? At something.com. Are you getting now? Then this next one should be what? Enter your email. Create a new what? Password. Because you're a first time user. And then this password is going to be what? Maybe 8 values. Are you getting now? Okay. Then you want to create what? Confirm password. Confirm what? Password. And then that's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, for instance. Then you have that guy like so, right? So you have creating an account, you have enter your email, create a new password, and then what? Confirm password, all right? So the next thing you need to have what they call forgot password. So you ask the person, forgot password, forgot password, forgot password, forgot password, then you have what? Reset. So you say forgot password, reset. Then this reset, since it's going to be a clickable link, it should be what? It should be bold, maybe extra bold. I don't know. This PC is running on a low battery right now, so it should be extra bold. And since it's you can decide to use the accent color for it. All right, can you see the use of accent color? All right, so you have this guy like so. You have this guy like so. Then what else they used to have again? So you have enter your email, create a new password, confirm password. Then if you forgot password, reset, right? Then the next thing you want to have is there's also something called all these Google authentication, email logins, right? So you can now have, let me reduce this guy to 10. Then I say, or sign up with what? Or sign up with, right? Then you can see that we just need maybe some icons now, right? Or sign up with, let me extend this box down. Not on scale, right? I just want to go only the height. All right. So I'm going this way. So have this, go up a bit. Go up. We left that guy. Go up a bit. Yeah, like so. We might want to have it like this, right? Are you seeing that? Then we now say, okay, or sign up with. My PC is really low right now. Let's just do this sign up with. Then we should be able to round up for today. My PC is really low. Okay, or sign up with what? Sign up with Google or Facebook. So this is where your icons come in, right? This is where your icons come in. So you want to have. There's always I use there are different icons. I remember Charity was telling you guys about icons, right? But for me, I use my icon library is huge icons. So there are plugins. When you right click, just right click on any part of your screen, and then you have what plugin here. You can see saved plugins and what manage plugins, right? So if you click on manage plugins for your own, you can search for plugins. I'll just advise you, this is the plugin I use. I use huge icons, huge icons, huge icon library. This is the plugin I use. I already have it. So for you, uh you can just save it and run it, right? But me, I already
Please,
have it.
can you
That's what.
expand your screen? I'm not sure they are seeing it. It's by the side. The name of the icon. Like bring the icon box. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, yeah. So if you can see that you have huge icon, that's what I use. So I'm going to get that now. I use my plugins and I open my saved plugins. You can see I have a lot of plugins, and you guys are going to be having a lot of plugins based on your experience as well, right? So I go with huge icons here, and then what I want to search for. I'm trying to be very sharp before my battery goes up. I'm going to search for. We need two major things. We need Google icons. So I'll just search for Google. Huge icons seem to be the best in the industry right now. They're very good and it's very easy to access. So I just search, but the free ones are just the stroke. So this is Google icon. I just click that. Once I click on it, what happens is that it will appear on my page. You can see it. Then the second one I need is maybe Facebook. I don't know. Facebook, Facebook, and then we have Facebook. Which one do we want to use? Maybe we want to use this one. So we keep, yeah, and then we can close our stuff. So we can take those two icons, bring them here. Of course, please, their color should not be pure black, please. In fact, we can decide to use, maybe let's see if we can use our accent color for them. Let's see if we can use our accent color for them, or let's use the secondary blue for them, right? So what we do is that we just want to tone them, we just want to scale them down using your K. So then let's design them individually. So Facebook, go here. Google, come here. Or sign up with what? Or sign up with Google. I scale out a bit and I say, I just type Google, right? And then of course my field should also be this color. Then I say, okay, go like so, go like so, go like so, and then stay here. This guy and this guy, I've not touched you guys auto layout, but I want to just set them on auto layout. Like, I've been struggling not to use the auto layout since because I'm teaching you guys. So, of course, let me group them together. And if I group them together, I can, sorry, go like this guy. Let me move the auto layout. This guy, this this text guy is not on his own. I noticed that. So let me delete this guy. So this is your text here. You have it here. This guy, you want to reduce it a bit. So this one comes here. Sign up with Google. Now, most of the time these icons comes in frames, right? So most of the time I want to remove it, but of course we don't have to do that right now. Let's group them together. Select the both of them, group them together, right? And then frame the selection. So you have a frame over the selection. Okay. So if I click on that frame, uh, okay. Apparently, let me take this guy out of that guy. Let me take this icon out of that frame. Usually, those frame gives them. Then I'll group this icon together. Group this icon together. Then group them together. Group, and then I will be here like I'll sign up with Google. Or this is Facebook. So we're going to take this guy out also and delete this frame. And then we have this guy right here. And then this guy maybe comes here. And then we are going to have what? You're going to type what? Facebook. All right. So this is you creating. So this guy and this guy. This guy and this guy can be grouped together. This guy and this guy can be grouped together. So you have something like this, all right? And then you can reduce the spacing between them. So then we can reduce this guy a bit, so that it doesn't look too so. Or sign up with Google or Facebook. Now this is, I believe that this is very basic and understand and able to you're able to understand. So what you can maybe have something here like just save plugins, take my plugin again. Maybe I just want to have like my info icon, and then I pick my info. Let me pick it on a free, and I pick my info. Where's my info? It has come here, so I just want to put it here. Now you make sure that everything you're putting is right inside your frame. So I just want to put it here to say I just want to put it here to say, let me pick this, to say about talent. Now this is for people who wants to know about the product before. We are also in the process. We're not just doing UI design, we're also doing UX. For people who wants to know about the product even before signing up, you need to pay attention to their needs as well, right? So you
Or
just,
frequently asked questions.
or even frequently asked questions. Excellent, thank you. About talent, or where we can, then we can even make it two, right? We can make it two. Then we can change this to what? Frequently asked questions as well. Thank you for that. So you can see. So even this can now come maybe down like so, right? They don't have to be pure black. It can just be a shade of black. Now, this is a very, very basic landing page we have designed. Okay, thank God the gen is up again, so we will not cut short our class. Okay, so now you can take a look at it. Now the next thing you want to make sure you achieve is, if you have a third eye, there's something called a third eye. If you have a third eye, you understand that these guys are not aligned. So we want to make every element aligned to their positions in our work. So you click on all these guys. When you come up here, you're going to see these alignment options: align to the left, align to the horizontal center, align right, align top, align vertical centers, align bottom. So first of all, we want to align this one to the left. So all of them are on the same straight line. And then this guy and this box, we want to align it also to the left, right? So having that, I think this is good enough to go. And then you can now maybe preview. You can preview. How do you preview? You come up here and play this button, present. You can play to present. So when you play to present, first of all, before you play to present, you select the prototype device you want to use. So you click on prototype, and here is a flow starting point. So this is remember we did user flow. So this is a starting point of our flow. Create an account, right? So I click on this. So this is flow 1, and I want to rename it as what? Create account. Are you getting me? Create account, right? Okay, so now you can now do what? Prototype settings. If you click on show prototype settings, you want to select the type of device that you want to do. Sometimes you want to even see your prototype on a laptop, right? The background of the device and all that. But first of all, see the prototype before we make adjustments. So let's click on this, and it will be loading for us immediately. It's loading for us immediately. We want to take a look at what we have created now. Okay, so you can see that. So let's adjust it so that you can fill the screen. So I come here and I say fit to what? Fit width. Fill screen. All right, so you can see that it fills the screen. Let me see. Okay, so that's actually because we did something. There was something we did. We reduced we scaled down Excellent. I love this. We scaled down. We scaled down. So let's come back again to our frame. Click on our MacBook Pro 16. Now we are going to scale up, and I guess we are going to maintain our scale. So let's scale up back again. So I bring it to this point. I click on my K and I drag it to scale. I want it to meet with it. So it has scaled up back. All right. So we can now delete this guy. We just use that guide to get our scaling back again. So I think it is our section that will adjust to the the frame. So let's just adjust our section to the frame. Forget about the design system up there. So let's pattern our section to be as big as this now, so that it can take every other frame as well. All right. So the design system you see it has is here. I will later scale it. All right. So let's place it back inside. Place it back inside, and let's view it again. So let's play it again. Let's play it back again. Let's play it back again. Aha. So you can see now is now we can now fit with now. You understand? We can now fit with now. So you can see it now. We fit the width so that the height of my screen now is smaller than the height of this guy, or this height of the screen I'm using currently, right? So you can see that's why it's scrolling. So if we want to see that, we can decide to say, okay, uh uh fill screen. Let me see, fill screen. So this is the landing page, and feed with this is how it looks. Now there's also something you can do if you are on your app. If you are on your app, there's something called Figma mirror. So it's called Figma Mirror. So you can use it to mirror your work, how it's going to look on the browser. So Figma Mirror, you click on the Figma Mirror, and then it's going to tell you to select a frame. It's going to tell you to select a frame. It has already even picked my frame. So just this is how it's going to look on the when somebody tries to use the app. Can you see that now? This is how it's going to they create an account page is going to look like, right? So from here, what you can now begin to do from here is that you can now begin to do some little adjustments and all that. Maybe you want to maybe you want to take this guy. Okay, let's do this. Maybe you want to take all these guys, take them up a bit. Maybe take them up a bit. Maybe you want to scale this guy a bit, to just reduce it a bit. So of course all your adjustments will need to be done there. So we want to scale that guy a bit, and then you are getting your measures. I hope you don't scale it too small. All right, so you have it like so, and then these guys you might want to bring them a bit up. All right, and then this guy, so for responsiveness, now you want to do this. Then just for aesthetics, sorry. So just for aesthetics, let me look for coming which file is that? Okay, yeah, so we want to just do a little bit of aesthetics. So what we're going to do is let's come to there's a plugin called let me get it now, UI faces or something. For faces. Yeah, let me get that now. Where is it? You can use UI faces, you can use avatars. So let me just maybe get faces. UI faces. So just want to get a human face. Are you getting me? We also want to get some human faces, right? So we can I selected the frame, so sorry, please Ctrl Z out of that guy. Let me let me create a small frame here. and then place this guy inside. Create another small frame. Are you seeing? And maybe place this guy inside. Then I want also two ladies. Create another small frame. I place this guy inside, this lady inside, and I create another small frame, and then I place this guy inside. So we just took some faces called UI faces. Now what we want to do with these guys is that we just want to make the whole them aesthetic, their aesthetic to make sense. Now we want to get a rounded kind of design, right? You getting me now? So what we are going to do here is that, let me see what time we have. Okay, we still have some time. So for this now, if you look at the width, if you want to get a perfect circle, your corner radius should be half of your width. So right now we have 101, so we can go with 50 and you get a perfect circle. You can see that this is 122, so we can go with 111, give us a perfect circle. This is 114, so we can go with maybe 107, no, 57, 57 gives us that. And then we have this 111, we can go with maybe 60 or 55. It's a perfect circle. Now all these guys want to style them and give them some stroke, and then maybe their stroke should be what, accent color, and then the width of the stroke should be maybe what, 10. Too much. Sorry, I want to use the secondary blue, but the secondary blue 50 on them. um then maybe some of them should have accents. Are you getting me now? So what we just need to do is we can place these guys, just put them around, and then reduce some of them like so, and then put them like this, and then have like so, and then you want to put them like something like this, right? So as very basic as possible. So our mirror should show us, you know, what we have currently. All right. So yeah, so this is very basic, but then I feel like it gives you guys a very basic understanding of what we are doing, right? So do you have any questions on what we have been doing so far? If you have questions, you can ask. If you understand what we did so far, you tell me a yes in the chat box. Okay, all right, great. So I just assume that or not assume, because there's no question actually. But I'm actually expecting questions. If you have questions, all right, excellent. It's actually better to watch it over again so that you get it properly. Now, for us today, we are able to do what we're able to do the create an account page, right? We are going to, of course, we have a few minutes more. For every page you design, you have to design the mobile responsiveness. So we are going to design the mobile responsiveness. So let's select maybe we want to select iPhone 14 Pro, right? So this is iPhone 14. You bring it in. So like I said, for every page you design, you have to design the mobile responsiveness as well. So trust me, this right here is very, very basic. We might be coming up with something a lot more. For the sake of your class, we didn't use auto layout and anything for this because we'll still come in there. All right. So sorry. Please give me a minute. Let me make sure my PC is charging. Is it charging? Let me see. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's proceed here. So, like I said, we're going to be creating the mobile version of that. And when you talk about mobile version, you're talking about responsiveness of a website, right? So we also name this frame create an account, create an account, and then on mobile version, of course, you know that your what's it called? Your mobile phone will always have your what's it called? Your battery and everything, your battery screen and everything. So your network and all that. So usually you want to maybe just create that there. There are components that you should have created already before your design. Okay, so let me put that inside of the frame. All right, so you have that. So you might want to might want to use your maybe plugins to get that. Let me run the huge icons, and I want to have maybe um my network and my battery, right? So let me take battery or the battery here are not looking like battery. Let me check signal. Okay, now let's now make manage of what we have. Let's get signal, right? But let's create battery ourselves. Let's go. This is what we're gonna do. Very easy to create your battery. Just draw a small rectangle, a very small rectangle, right? And then give it a black, and then give it some rounded corners of maybe, I don't know, 10 is too much. 4, 1. So let's go 2. Like this. All right, like this. Then let's duplicate it, and then increase that one a bit, right? And then give this one a stroke of black. Maybe give it like 3. 3 too much. 1. Then you want to turn off, remove the fill, just stroke. 1 is even too much. Go outside, but give me 0.3. Something like this. Then we want to bring this guy right inside of here and also reduce it, just scale it a bit. So we want to put it right inside here. Let me zoom out so that it can be easy to place it. So I want to scale it some more, right? You want to have it like this, and then you want to just have one small this thing in front. So let me just duplicate this guy, and then let's reduce. There's usually this small stuff in front. Don't mind me when you have difficulties, you create your stuff. You don't stay waiting for. So let me use 0.3 or 0.5, and then I just put it in front of it like hopefully let's go like um this. Let me group it, and then put this in the center using this, right? So let me reduce that guy a bit. So 0.2. So we just group them together and assume that is battery. It actually looks like battery now, very well. Then this one, you just give it your what? Your Instead of a stroke, give them a fill of black, and then remove the stroke, right? And then change this guy to 1. And the space between them is maybe 2. All right, so you have that. Just drag it out of the frame, delete the frame, come and group them together. We are just trying to create that guy. So you have this, scale it down so that it looks like the battery, so that it looks like aspect ratio of the battery. So basically, we have these two, we are enough. So we group them, come here, and then okay, right now looking at our screen, we might need to scale them up a bit, and then bring it here. This one is here, right? And then all you need is write a text of maybe usually most designers use 9 o'clock. Let me reduce it to font size 12. So most designers will use 9 p.m. But this 9 p.m. let's use normal Montserrat for it. It's not part of your. It's a component. It's a component. It's not part of your design like so. It's just a component, right? So just a component, just giving some feel. So this set them to align together. You set them to align together, so they are currently aligned together in the center. And then this guy, maybe just a little shade down if you want. To look like this. This is your mobile. You just have that guy. Of course, you have other parameters there that then all you are doing is you are replicating, you are going to replicate this guy here. You're going to replicate this guy here. So how do you do it? You have to bring this guy, and you must have an understanding of how apps are represented on mobile. So on this guy, I want to maybe reduce it. It cannot be the same size as the one on the. Of course, we should have our layout grid for this guy as well. So let's just set a layout grid. Let me just set it manually quickly. A layout grid of column, and then we want it to have maybe 12, quarter of 10, something like this. And then of course, so we can place this guy here, talent, and of course there's this on mobile you always have menu icon. You always have menu icon, but not on your login. Not on your login, right? So after talent, you have this guy. Find talent for your project and these guys around him, right? But on mobile, they will be very small, so we can scale them down too. So you scale them down, scale them down, scale them down. So where's our center? Scale them down. So let's turn this guy off and see. Okay, so we want to. So we now might want to now increase this guy a bit for readability, and then you see clips to this guy. Then bring these ones and maybe place them what? Yeah. All right. So the next thing you want to include login. Lift the login. We are not using auto layout. That's why we are selecting all these guys like this. So just lift this login. You have to scale them down. So using your K on your keyboard, just scale it down a bit. And then on your mobile, you can see that you are able to of course create an account, right? So let's extend this guy down. Use scale to extend it down. Just close the scale and just drag this whole thing down. All right. So let me bring it up. So follow me. So let me take it out. First off, extend this guy down, right? And this Facebook didn't go with it, so let's bring it there. Apparently what's happening is that Facebook is not inside of this frame. So most of the time when you have it like that, you cut it out and then you click on this frame and paste it again to enter. So with this one, scale it down to yeah, guys, we're almost done. Like I said, this guy is basic, so let's highlight all of them and frame them so that they can be together in one guy. So create an account comes here on mobile. And of course you know that the font size is going to reduce. Maybe we give it 24 and then bring the form inside of here. Now who can tell us what we are missing out? There's something very important we are missing out, and guess what that is? Our button submit button should be here. Who noticed that? Nobody. So bring these guys down and then you have your submit button. Let me fetch a button from the buttons I have here, or rather let's just create. So we can easily create a button. Want to use a frame, just drag it here, and then of course give it a feel of okay. So this time around, okay, I've seen something now. If this guy is accent, then all these guys here should be secondary blue, but because secondary blue will not give us that feel, that's why we are using the accent there. All right, so yeah, let's go with our blue. So we change this guy to maybe 10 to have it some curved corners, and then increase the height a bit. And then I just want to write what? Sign up. It's too bold, so reduce it to maybe medium, and the font size to maybe 24. Semi bold, and then place it right inside of here, but the color field should be what? White. Simple. So if you have this, let's copy this. We also need to introduce it into our mobile. So on your mobile, you also expand this guy. Expand this guy and then bring these ones down and then place that guy here. You can see that it's big because it's coming from the web version. So you place this guy here and you can easily scale it up and also increase the width here. So you have sign up on mobile. So you have this, right? You have this on mobile. So this is just a very simple example for you guys, to be able to understand how logins work on both what you call your desktop and what you call your mobile. Are you seeing that now? So you can have it like so. All right, so I think this is clear enough. For the mobile, if I click on this, I can preview it. So on your mobile, you can see it's gonna look like that. Sometimes you might even want to remove this find tech talent for your project, so that they create an account, can come up. Are you getting? So you might want to even remove that guy so that you create an account. Okay, we're rounding up shortly, so that your create an account can have some breathing space. So you might want to even just stretch this guy on mobile, right? So you can have it like this. You reduce the font weight to 24, because this is mobile, right? This is mobile. So this can come like here. So you can have something like this on mobile, you see, and then this goes like here, this goes like here, this goes maybe here, this one stays maybe here, and then our infancy guy here can come to here, and he also needs to.
Okay, I think we lost him. Can anyone see his screen?
No, I can't. I can't see his screen.
Okay, I think his battery is down. But hope we understand the process, everything he has done so far.
So sorry,
Okay.
So sorry, the other PC went down again. I'm so sorry. But we must achieve what we achieve today. All right. So this one is a bit charged now. So we should actually try to round up now. Let me try to see. I don't know if it must have synced to this one yet. What we're doing there, I don't know if we must have synced here yet, but I believe we can actually stop there, right? I don't know. I believe we can actually stop there for now. All right. So basically showing you how designs are being done and how the whole process goes. So now it's an iteration process. Now, after you do that, this is just a very first process, all right? You will still come back to do all your adjustments based on what? Based on your UX research, based on your client's recommendation. Oh, please change this, put it here. Oh, please help me adjust this, put it here. We would like this to be like this and all that. So you will still be, it's an iterative process that you continue to do until you come up with a final draft of your design. All right. So I guess yeah. I guess yeah, we are good on that. And I would actually want to give you guys an assignment. Yeah, I want to give you guys an assignment. They said assignment is always more difficult than classwork. Right? So right now, we just did a very, 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 very basic design. You guys are the ones that have this project. You guys are the owners of this project, right? So your assignment is that you are going to actually design, because we're actually going to pick the best and we're going to be working every week with the best. So you're actually going to design, do research, look at examples of sign-in pages and sign-up pages. You are going to design a sign-in and sign-up for this week. All right, I'm saying the assignment verbally now so that you can start doing it. Right, I'll still try to write it and send it to you in a design format. Right, but then you are going to be designing a sign-in and sign-up screen for the e-commerce platform that we are working on, right? So I would like you to create your design system. You all have access to this file. You can pattern your design system with this. You can decide to use the colors that suit you. Everything I'm doing here is just for class learning purposes, right? So you can go ahead and create yours, create the colors that suit you and everything, right? And all your design system. Make sure that all your local styles are actually well set, right? Then you create your web version and your mobile version for your signing and for your signing. All right.
Okay, but I wanted to ask if the video can please be ready on time so that I can use it as reference.
Well, for the video, I don't know. We are going to do our best. Because we have a video editor who works on the video, and he always tries his best to be done on time. Right, so we'll pressure him and make sure that he's ready with it on time. However, before then, when you go to the e-commerce website file on Figma, then you can just see what we did here. Right?
Okay.
And maybe start from there.
Okay.
All right. Okay, everyone. We have really spent a lot of time today. Just to take a feedback before we round up. Did you really understand the practical processes of creating that sign up? If you did, type a yes in the chat box. If you did, type a yes in the chat box. Even if you're going to solidify your knowledge later, yeah. All right, so yeah, your feedbacks are well received, and I believe that we're going to make sure that you guys get the video. Of course, it's not expected that you'll be perfect by just watching me do it, all right? It's when you go back over again to look at it, to practice, to do your own. Like I said earlier, what I did to you is very, very basic. If I want to start doing something complex for you, it will be questions upon questions upon questions. So that I want you guys to go and do it, and then by then you would have gotten familiar with the systems. I believe by next week we should be able to look at auto layouts first before continuing with our design, because we really need to use our auto layout systems in our landing page and other pages. All right. Okay, so every asset we'll try to get it ready, because we'll be needing assets like pictures of the talents, icons and everything. So this file will always be updated continually before next Saturday. All right, let's round up now. So with that, we've come to someone wants to ask a question. Okay. So with this, we've come to the end of the class today. Like today, we've been able to look at color theory. We looked at typography. We looked at practical methods of creating, your style guides. And also, we tried to do a little design in Figma, right? So like I said, you guys are going to be having an assignment to look out for very beautiful designs that you love, create your design system, and then come up with a super, you don't have to put everything on the sign up page, right? It just has to be minimal, simple and clean, right? So just come up with a simple sign up and sign in page, both the web and the mobile representation for your assignment, right? So you are doing it for that e-commerce platform, right? Okay, for uniformity, everyone should use that name. At least for now, everyone should use that name and that logo. But of course, you can decide to change the color, right? You can decide to change the color to something that feels better, right? To you, okay? How about just use that logo and that the name, all right? So we'll be expecting your assignments as soon as possible. Make sure that you enjoy your week. I don't know, Charity might want to say something before we finally close. Okay, Charity, you want to say something? Okay, no, all right.
No,
Okay,
no, no.
all right, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. Please have a lovely, lovely week, and we would always keep on reaching out to ourselves on the group. Please don't keep quiet. If you have a question, ask. This is the best time you can ask all your questions. When the whole boot camp is over, you are learning on your own, you are still asking questions, but at that point in time, you are not really, it's more like you are doing a self-paced thing, all right? So now that you have the guide here with you, right, please always ask your questions and make sure that you get every knowledge that you need, all right, for this time. Have a lovely, lovely week and take care of yourself.